Now, the political shift of the decade, that's what I'm calling it. A far-right populist candidate, Jair Bolsonaro, winning the Brazilian presidential election, and he won in a landslide. President Trump tweeted about it this morning. Here it is. Had a very good conversation with the newly elected president of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, who won his race by a substantial margin. We agreed that Brazil and the United States will work closely together on trade and military and everything else. Excellent call. Wished him congrats. Mary Anastasia O'Grady, Wall Street Journal lady, is with us this morning.
Hello.
I call this a political earthquake in Latin America. Am I going too far?
No, I think, you know, the Workers' Party, socialist, left-wing populists were overthrown, and it's really big news. I think you should keep in mind that, first of all, Brazil is a very conservative country. Never mind what you see in Rio at Carnival all the time. Socially conservative country. But the majority of people are not voting on ideology here. They are voting on the results that they came away with after almost 14 years of the socialists in power. They wrecked the economy, and they were caught in a very huge corruption scandal.
The elites just went right out of favor. But there's another factor here. There were 64,000 murders in Brazil in the past 12 months.
Yeah.
They elected a strong man to do something about it.
Well, you know, I would really temper that a little bit. Brazil has pretty good institutions. He says he's going to do something about it. I mean, I think he has very good intentions. I'm not so sure that that is... I mean, I would keep an eye on that just because he's dealing with organized crime. And all of the presidents around the world that have tried to deal with this drug trafficking problem, which is really a result of demand for drugs by people in rich countries, they haven't had a huge amount of success. What I'm interested in with Bolsonaro is his market liberal ideas. And he's not a huge market liberal, but he has a PhD economist who studied at University of Chicago as his #1 financial advisor. And they're talking about opening the economy, withdrawing the government from so many things in the economy, cutting fiscal spending, you know, reducing tax. It's a very market liberal plan that this economist would like to put in place. Let's see if he can do it, because Brazilian Congress is very fragmented. But that's the most exciting thing about this new government.
I'm going to say this movement, this worldwide movement, started with Brexit, moved on to the election of Donald Trump, moved on to the election of a populist party in the coalition in Italy, and now Bolsonaro in Brazil. I mean, I know that they're slightly different movements, but they're all part of the same deal.
Well, the other thing that's very interesting about that is, I think, social media. Because if you looked at the major media outlets, especially in the English-speaking world, they were all very much against Bolsonaro. And in his own country, they were all very much against him. They complained that he was, you know, against certain special interest groups, and they made all sorts of complaints about him. But I think the population as a whole broke through because of social media. That's a big change, and I think that's what's allowed Brazil to, you know, elect really a completely different president.
Mary Anastasia O'Grady, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Very interesting stuff.